doing a couple of things here today. One is doing some ZWIFT Recon. Then I can write my team instructions, even though I'm not racing tomorrow. And the other thing is just testing 2 different heart rate monitors. I want to see where we're at. So, but this is the course. ZRL tomorrow night. I'm not racing tomorrow. Whew. Yeah. I'm just using this as a recovery spin stroke. Test some technology. Into big ring in a second here. Get on Chuck's wheel here. There's Chuck behind. Seven seconds ahead. Alright, so yeah, here we go. We are streaming. Just doing some recon. So I can write some instructions for the team. And scoping out where the sprints are. All right. Oh, hit follower goal overnight somehow. That's cool. Alright. That stream manager. Here we are. Hey, Beer Bear 8, thanks for the follow. As we get into race season, we'll get a bit more fun contact. But it's just recon, gonna test out the sprints. Now, when I say test out, make sure I know where they are, just so I can communicate to the team. And that I can't race tomorrow night. Let's have a meeting which be on camera for and pay attention to. So, what that means, but I am the captain, DS, whatever you'd like to call it, the team, so we have quite a few sprinters, so yeah, just try and do Recon here, give some distances, what to look out for. Try and do that job well, just so I got the notes, even though I don't even think I'll be able to jump in a team car. Goodness, I can, I'm just trying to see. There we up the road. Yeah, I jump on and try and chase. Oh, and there's more people up the road. I'm gonna go to. I'm just going to push here and try and get up to one of my team. We didn't actually organize this at all. Make sure no one's on our Discord. So we do use voice for Discord as well. Oh, but yeah, so still in the Recon here. I have ridden this course a lot. Gonna put on my fans so as not to wake up everyone's devices. I'll just go on mute for a second. All right. Jeffrey Bezos controls my fans, so I have to ask him nicely to get fresh air. Oh. This sprint, if I remember, yeah, you got to be going at the roundabout. I've done this sprint so many times. Yeah, so just taking notes here. So first sprint is here. I believe it'll be a no power up sprint. So fastest times will actually mostly be on XP. Fastest times will actually be on second lap. It's good to know. I could form into team tactics there. Yeah, so just trying to work this out, write some notes, but actually get some ideas here. Actually use team tactics a little on this one. Or here. There we are. Hey Chuck. Figured I'd get a ride in so I could actually write intelligence notes. So one thing's interesting there is that there's, and I'm pretty sure this will be the same for the race, no power-ups for that first sprint. So, oh, you had one? Huh. I must have just got unlucky then. Oh, okay, I must have just got XP points then. Alright, scratch that then. Yeah, I was just trying to think about fastest time, so fastest time will be on that first one then. I mean, theoretically, you can get multiple fastest times, but I'll just reply here to Anthony. Yeah, I saw you were writing, so I figured I'd jump in. Unfortunately, I got a meeting tomorrow night, which I gotta be at 10 to 4, so I don't think I can get away with trying to sprint and be on video. Yeah, there's that little climb, I think, if I remember this rightly. So, I mean, that first lap's going to be hot, and then the invisibility is interesting. Having watched I watched the Women's Premier League today, and we can definitely get a jump, but that'd be the thing, is if we happen to have 2 people on our team who had invisibility, it would be to coordinate the jump at like 800 meters, and then basically have everyone else ready to jump on the train when they come back on. But this should suit us more than last week for the finish. It's the sprinters course. Yeah, because last week we were this. I think we had the we were the second to last in terms of our first finisher, and overall finishing points we were like bottom 3, but sprint points we were top 4. So oh no, I'm streaming this, so I'm not streaming. I don't stream the like your side of the Discord, so don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I have that going through a separate speaker. But yeah, I've got. But I mean, the main thing here is, I can't seem to join any other voice other than Ozone. Okay. Yeah. I'll message him and see if he's got access. Recon. If not, we can switch to Ozone. I'll switch there and tell him and see if he can find it. Yeah. If not, we can just... Why don't we just jump to Ozone? Hey, we're just going to jump over here. Hey, Anthony. Oh. Hey. Yeah, we'll just jump across. Oh. Figured I saw names I knew, so I figured I'd sweep it out. Oh. I know, we got a breakaway and we're sitting at 2 watts a kilo. It's easy. Yeah. So what, off memory, what's happened in these races was like, especially with the flat sprints, it'll surge through, but as long as you're surfing the back of that pack, you should be fine, because there's no hill here straight after, but you just can't get gapped. So even if you're not going for the sprint, I think it's like at about 1k or 800 meters, like you got to be moving to the front and just doing your tempo effort. Yeah, I'd say like around this bus stop, because if you're doing the sprint, I've actually done this sprint a lot, and it's kind of like the sprint's pretty short, but you got to be ramping up from like the Nelson's column here, like once you do the, sorry, not Nelson, what's the, oh, well, they've just got a ZWIFT trophy there now. But basically here with the people, it's ramp up and then nearly start standing, hit your power-ups on the red carpet. Or just after. Alright. Is anyone going for this one? I can lead out a bit. I'm not racing tomorrow, so I can kill my legs. Nice work. Oh, nice. That's perfect, Anthony. Yeah. Yeah. What I'd say is to get fastest time, try to surf through the pack, and then like what you did there was you got my wheel, so you kind of just want to find somebody else with those red numbers, jump on them, and then if you've got a power up, hopefully life's good. I'd say a bit longer, like, because well, the aero power up's 15 seconds, so I'd say at like the 300 meter sign. So then you've got, for most of it, if you get the draft one, I would say, I think there's draft tomorrow. I should check this. Thing is, I should. Let's. ZWIFT inside ZRL. I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure it'll be sub 11s just with the group. Yeah, okay, so we got aero 15 seconds, draft is 30 seconds. So draft, I would say just as you come underneath the gates on the red carpet. Aero at about 300, and then the invisibility will be interesting. I'd say you kind of got to look at on Discord if there's a couple of you with invisibility. You get it for, it's only 10 seconds, but you could maybe make something happen from that roundabout. That is a good question. I think, yeah, you just can't see them. So if you both went at the same time, you'd be kind of guessing, but theoretically, at least when you pop open, you would have both of you there, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so with that one, you're gonna have to drop it like 500 meters or so, just because the pace will be up too high from that point. Mainly for the finale, that one, right? Like, that's where, especially if what I saw nearly worked in the women's race was somebody went with invisibility, then they popped up, and then somebody else went with invisibility to grab their wheel. So, because that had a gap, it was interesting. Yeah, I caught the women's race, I didn't see the men's. It's on GCN's YouTube, I think. Or ZWIFT's YouTube, so it should still be there. Yeah, this is where it'll get a little spicy. Yeah. Including the leading. Yeah. Yeah. there'll definitely be splits here, so yeah, so as you're going down that -2%, that's where you want to be ramping up the watts, just so you get the speed. And I'd also say, like, if you're about to get gapped, you're better off dropping your power up there to stay in, live another day, because what will happen is after a couple laps, once there's a decent split, then I think it'll ease back a bit at the front. For that first like 15 minutes, so 2 laps is going to be brutal. Yeah. We're just doing some ZRL Recon here. I'm also chatting on my Discord and getting one side of that, but that's alright. Checking out where the sprints are, just getting a ride in as well. So, yeah. Yeah, with the pack you'll be sub 11 for sure, so. Yeah. Yeah, so it's top 10 each lap for first across the line, but then fastest time will all be, it'll all be on that first lap. Yeah. I mean, there might be a couple people who get in there twice, but the pack just moves so fast on that first lap. So I'd say this part's the draft part, because we got like 30 seconds, and then 300 meter banner here on the left underneath the Union Jack. That's where you need to be ramping up, but if you've got an aero power up, that's about 15 seconds from the finish. So you got the green jersey for the night. We'll apply for points. That's the other thing as well, is like, if you're going for sprints, you may as well be all in, right? Because the points are just worth so much compared to finish points. Like, you can't really go 90%. Because, so when you go, and then just, you got a fair bit of time here to hang on and recover. But worst comes to worst, like the groups will splinter, and then same as last week, like don't do any work in groups. There's no point. We're just doing some ZWIFT Recon with ZRL. We go here, cruising around London Classic. not racing tomorrow night. There's a meeting, but gotta write up the team notes after this one in terms of our plan. So the only other random wildcard is you can actually say you did get gapped early, but you still had sprint legs. You are allowed to basically take a lap and then jump in, right? Basically sit up and then just go for a fastest time or something with the big group. You won't get first across the line. Yeah, the only problem is you're going for fastest time, right? So if the pack's not moving fast enough, you're kind of hooped, but... So it's only worth it if you, for whatever reason, you got gapped early or you had a dropout and you're going to be in like below 60th. But just something to remember. Oh, they'll get angry. It's been condoned on the forum. It's been condoned by the race organisers, so they're not allowed to do it in Premier League, but you're allowed to do it in this league. So I'm in the city I'm in, the next 2 years I'm on what's called like the Aquatic Advisory Board. It's like a volunteer board to the council, and they just meet every 2 months and just happens to be on a Tuesday night, so just got to attend that. It's kind of like the board that gives citizen input on like pool services and programming and all that. So so this board is for all aquatic services in the city of Richmond. So it's like, because like my kids are in swim programs, I do master swimming, but then it's everything like accessibility to different groups and all that. So it's not too bad commitment wise, like, but just happened to fall on race night. But it's good, we got a full squad, so get everyone to get to race. I don't know, I think they were in the I think they had something sorted last I heard, but if not, I'm sure they'll try and find it from the group chat. Where was that? Innsbruck, or was that London? Okay. That's all good. We just need to get, I know my aim, if I get my, basically, my hope is by about April or May I'll be kind of back to be on the edge of these, so Main thing depends on how much running I do, because if I run, I lean out a lot more, so, and then my power doesn't tend to drop. But yep. Oh, so you were on a trail bike, were you? I tri bike. Yeah. Yep, flywheel. Yep. Were you riding an Aero or on the hoods? Yeah. 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 Yeah, no, I find like, so when I have my tri bike on here, unless I sit like on basically the base bar, then it's normally about 20 or 30 watts less. So, especially if I'm Aero. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And the other thing is when you're riding on ZWIFT, it doesn't matter how aero you are, so you can kind of hammer out power standing, whereas even if you're in a bike race, like, you're still trying to duck down and under the air a bit in the sprint. So it just gives you range, so it should be good for you to try. You got any triathlons planned this year? Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, I've got everything. So I was meant to do my my wife's family is originally from Penticton, so once Ironman was going back there, I've raced up there a few times, quite a while ago, but like it was meant to be back there in 2000. Then it got deferred to August last year, then to September, and now it's August again this year. So doing that, but the only complicating factor is that the plan was doing that was meant to be this past year, because this year up there's another race they've got, which is, triathlon's always got its politics, but essentially there's a non-branded Ultraman up there, and my buddy did it a few years ago, and it's really easy for me to race up there, so I'm doing that, which is like 4 weeks before I'm in Canada, so we'll see how that combination goes. So yeah, but that's kind of the main focus for the year. So. Yeah. And yeah, I live in Vancouver, about 5 hours up the road, so do a lot of training up there. and it'll be kind of good because it was getting it had been there a while before it went to Whistler, but now it's gone. I think the local population's excited to have it back, if that makes sense. So all the complaining, all this type of stuff will be gone. So, because that's the main thing about that race is like it takes over the city for the week, and so it's a very community focus. So it should be good. Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's the thing is like Penticton hasn't had Ironman since 2012, so it's going to be 10 years now. So I did like the challenge one the first year up there and that, but the problem was it didn't get enough buy-in from either challenge family to support it, or the brand name's just so strong in North America. So. But I did ITU Worlds up there, and that was fantastic. So, yeah, same water. Course is a little bit different, but yeah, but that was good because that was kind of like a week-long festival because they had the duathlons, they had a cross-tri, aquathon, and then the long distance. So. I was like training for Ironman, man, and then I pivoted in September and did, once it got cancelled, I did a mile race on the track, very different, and then and I was like pleasantly surprised. It was like my first proper hard run. I was like, oh, okay, like I was like a second off my PR, and then one of the pool swim sprint triathlons here had been postponed in May, and they did it on Thanksgiving long weekend. So that was like my first triathlon in 3 years or something. So, yeah, it was just good to remember how to race again. I just don't have the time trial scene here at all. It's like, and that was my only annoyance last year was kind of the timing of everything getting postponed, because if I'm not racing any big tries, I'll race crit season here because it's really good, and I didn't race any crits because it was too close to like my A races for crashing. And so then just as crit season finished, I was like, all right, now we're cancelled. I was like, but it is what it is. What's that? 41. Yeah. It's like the standard of riding here, especially on the one that's down the road. It's pretty good. Like, it's there's two series. The Tuesday night one's a bit more hairy, bigger fields, but the one on Thursdays is like fields of 40. Yeah, fields of 40. Most people are out there for a bit of a training ride. So, I mean, there's still crashes, but it's my last proper hitting the ground was actually in a road race, but I was descending and I had a front tire blowout. That one was not fun. Went bouncing over the tarmac for a bit. It was like Homer Simpson when he's jumping the canyon. I thought I was going to hold it, slowing down, and then there was a turn, and I'm still going 30. So it's like, do you go into like the gravel off the road, or do you try and hold the turn? That was one day I wish I was on tubulars. Yep. Oh. Yep. The first year of our challenge, Jeffrey Simons, he was coming down the back of Yellow Lake, so big descent, and he stood up to basically shake his legs out, and he caused himself a speed wobble, and he dropped it at like 60k an hour, and so, but then he got back up and he ended up winning. But it was funny, I'm riding down I was like racing that one, I'm riding down the descent, and like there was a full-on yard sale of bottles, and I'm like, what's going on here? Because I was relatively near the front, so I'm like, what's going on? And had no idea until like after the race. I was like, yeah. Yeah, they changed the course a little bit now, and it goes the part called the observatory, and so that'll be interesting because it's like it's not that technical a descent, but it's a long one, and it's kind of sweeping bends at about 140k. So yeah, I'll ride it just there, just because it's I'm a bit heavier, so the wind's not as much of a stress. So, and you just get so much time on in the first 70k. So, I mean, if it's an uber windy day, we'll see. Like, I know I have enough people up there. I swap out the front wheel, but and go shallower. But it's U520k Canada. So how it worked was, it used to be the Ultraman branded one, like anything triathlon. There was some politics, so they split, and then they were the only race in Penticton. And then they kind of said that they weren't getting the numbers, so they kind of announced, okay, we're going to wrap it up because you're not making that much money off it. But then everyone was like, oh, we'll do it. So then they're like, okay, we'll keep on going. But in the same time frame, somebody had signed the contract to have Ultraman run there. So Ultraman runs the weekend before, and then and then a U520, so it's all kind of weird, but yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like you got like, so Steve King, who's, I'm not sure if you've most of you heard him, but he's like kind of iconic. He's the one who will do the finish line and all that at Ironman Canada versus Mike Riley. And so he's out there both days. Like when I was crewing for somebody, he's just like parked 200 kilometers on the bike with his sound system, like in the middle of nowhere, giving the overview. He's amazing. So it kind of works because like as long as there's enough people racing, so it's kind of like the people who want to do Hawaii will kind of do the Ultraman one, but yeah. I haven't done one before, but I crewed for my Kiwi buddy who lives in Penticton. He came in third. So, and then I've done quite a few years ago, I did run pacing for a friend of a friend. So. But yeah, so it'll be fun. I don't think it's something I've got a desire to do. Who knows though, you sometimes do these things and want to do them again, but just kind of something different to aim for. They are turning 11 and 8, so I do a lot of riding inside, and when we go up there if we go up there, there's so much family up there. I am honestly not missed as long as I'll take the kids out for coffee in the morning or something like that, and then meet the family for dinner. So, but it's a little bit different now. My wife's grandmother passed, like she was in her late 90s, but still this year, so last year, so, but still it's like, so if I go up there for a week and then I'll just do a lot of my training like around the kid stuff, and then that, so we'll see how this one goes. You got to get in a few longer rides, like that's the main difference. Like you can't really prep to run that far. That's the thing. So I'll just have some big Saturday mornings. Wake up early. Yeah, but it's just like everything. It's just I find like even with Ironman training, it's not about having mega weeks. It's just like if I can have 12 to 14 hours a week consistently, that's better than anything epic. And so, like today, I ran at lunch for an hour. Do this for an hour. It's 2 hours. Do that Monday through Friday or something like that. And you're already at 10 hours. Yeah, especially at that age, right? Like now it's kind of like, so I help coach their track and field, for instance. So I take them to that, do that, and then like when they're doing softball practice or that, like, well, last year we weren't allowed to hang around at all anyway. We had to drop them off, but yeah, so I'll just go for a run, especially for practice. I'll go for a run. When they had swim lessons on the weekend, I just hop in the pool at the same time. So just try and do a lot of things like that. And then the other thing I'll do is like if we're going somewhere like 20k away or that, like a barbecue or that, I'll often run to the barbecue and then meet the family there. So a lot of packing. I used to ride to work like 4 days a week, so it's like that's where it's ZWIFT in the train. It's like My only disappointment with ZWIFT in that is now it's around, because I always used to ride the trainer. Now everyone started to get so much stronger on the bike. Well, the main thing now is like everyone goes out, and I think it'll be the case now with racing. Everyone will go out and hammer the bike because they're so fresh, so excited to race. So it'd be interesting to see what the run splits are like. Oh, they... Oh, crazy. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, here the swim bookings were every Monday morning at 6 AM. The next weeks would open up. Yeah, so it's kind of like you'd have to jump on. In summer, I'm super lucky. There's a 25-meter outdoor pool that's 800 meters from my house. So yeah. Yep. 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 Where are you based, Chuck? Okay, cool. Vaguely, I know. I've heard of Ann Arbor. Yeah. So. Yeah. You guys are racing, but you're racing it then like 9:45 at night. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. My kids, I'd say like a couple of years ago, it's now getting a lot easier just to find the balance right. So. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. It's like the kids, like it's 25-50% of their, or even 100% of their memories in life, right? Yeah. Yeah. We were just meant to go to Disneyland for the first time April, like just when the pandemic really hit full swing. So we're just trying to, hopefully this year we'll find a window. They've been patiently waiting. It was their Christmas present from their grandparents, and it's like, and I've never been either, so my wife's been, but being an Aussie, that was a very long way away, so. And also Disneyland's right next to the Angels ballpark, so get to go watch some baseball at night. Yeah. It'll be ramping up here for sure. I mean, I'll send out some notes, but I think the main thing I'll just say is, like, if you're going for a sprint, like, you gotta go for it. You can't go half-half. Then I'll try and find out what bike Randy's on, because Randy might be best going for a long ranger at the end, depending on what he's got access to. Yeah. Should be pretty good here. Lots of sprints, no big climb. Especially on that first one. Yeah, especially on that first one, if there's a little line going, like, there's a good chance you get 3 or 4 people in the top 10 fastest. That's a lot of points. Okay, I will look it up and make sure. Because Premier League was at the was on the mall, so pretty sure it's at the mall, but I'll check. But yeah, Premier League was definitely on the, like, at the, well, yeah, like when you say the sprint banner, like, oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant the Flamme Rouge. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. No, finish is definitely here. Thanks for the ride. That was good. Good to good to chat to everyone when we're not breathing super heavy. Alright, cool. Catch ya. Bye. Alright, so there we are. Recon done. Had to write up some notes for my team, but that's that. Right. So, dinner. You're watching. Sorry, I was on the Discord and chatting away. You got one-sided conversation. So, teammates a bit more. It's always good. The thing with the ZWIFT racing is riding with different people. So a couple people there riding with Michigan. I think my American joke is terrible. One's definitely Michigan. I think they both work. So yeah, do that. It's kind of good in the, for want of a better term, virtual world here to actually connect and chat to people. So with that, I'm going to go chat with some people in real life and go chat to my family. So have a good one and chat later. Let's see, bring up power. What is the power did? 190, nice solid road. Did one sprint. Decent 5 seconds. Good, solid. Alright, out.